This is the Ticwatch Pro 3 Ultra GPS. Okay, so this is the Ticwatch. It comes in a very nice little box. It obviously is a smartwatch of description, and it has a bunch of features around here. You can have a quick read at that if you fancy, but I'll try and go through as much of it as I can as we're opening her up and see what's inside, because the Ticwatch is a very exciting watch. Obviously there's a couple of watches out there that are very desirable at the moment, and I think the most popular on the market here in the UK would be the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4. But this is one other alternative that is a very high-end watch. It's nicely priced for the level of hardware that's in there. And I wanted to take a look at it because it does seem to be the one that isn't Samsung infused. It doesn't require all the Samsung apps and may work better for universally across phones as opposed to just in the Samsung ecosystem. So in the box we get the Ticwatch Pro and our charging cable and a user manual. So not a huge amount, and certainly no plug, but then that's what's to be expected. And there's that's the quick guide then. Nice, it's sort of in the box, but maybe more so in the sleeve. All right, so there it is on the top there. It is not as large as I had anticipated it being. It is quite small. Now I have fairly big hands and wrists and arms, and we'll leave it at that. So I'm hoping that this is going to look like a treat on my wrist. I'll just set it there so you can continue to drool over it for a wee while. Yep, there we have the connector that you fire onto the back of it. It's not a USB Type-C connector, which some people would obviously moan about, but then it needs to be waterproof and things like that, so pogo pins are actually one of the best ways to do that. And the cable itself looks to be fairly decent quality. It's quite long too. It's maybe about a 1 meter cable and a USB at the end, which has a fairly robust connection to the USB. We have some bump, so this is the model number. It's got the Snapdragon inside, but we'll run through those in a second as it's booting up. And there's a little pack of silica. Yum. All right, the Ticwatch has a piece of foam there that you have to remove before you take it off this bit of cardboard. And there we have it. Ooh la la. Now, on my fairly big hands, it doesn't look entirely out of place. It actually looks kind of nice, although under this light my arm looks very pink and blotchy. I must go somewhere and get a tan. Yeah, so that's that. It's got a screen protectory type thing on the front. We don't have a rotational thing on the front. We do have two buttons, and we have a sort of a, what is that, a vinyl strap, a rubbery plasticky strap, which is easy enough to swap out for something else. Now that's where the pogo pins are for you to charge, and then you've got your biometrics and that kind of thing on the back here for being able to tell your fitness. So inside we have the Qualcomm Snapdragon Wear 4100, which is a rather nice, attractive, speedy processor, but it's backed by a Mobvoi dual processor system, which, I don't know, should make things faster and speedier. We'll look into that later on. There's 1 GB of RAM and 8 GB of storage. This is a 1.4-inch round display, as you could tell, I'm sure, which is AMOLED, and it's got a customized, colorful backlight, which you can set through the app, which is kind of cool. We've got cornering Gorilla Glass on the front here with anti-fingerprint stuff on there, although I don't know if you can see that, but there is one fingerprint I've managed to put on it already. Bluetooth 5, Wi-Fi is built in as well. There is an LTE variant, which this is not. GPS, NFC payments through Google Pay, built-in microphone and speaker, which we can see there actually, that'll be the speaker. I imagine that's the microphone then, and then we've got 2 arrows beside each of these buttons. It's got IP68 waterproofing and allows you can swim in the pool with it, which is kind of nice. I do wish that would rotate. That would be nice. Now, I don't know how to turn it on. Let's try one of the buttons, see what happens. There we go. We have the Wear OS logo jumping in there. Seems to be quite quick to boot up as well. Fluid animation, and we tap to begin. And we can pick a number of different languages. Which language did I just pick? Bum. Okay, so we're going to go back to English United States. I'm not going to scroll down to see if English UK is there. I'll do that later. So please read all the stuff and say that I've read it. I do have it open here, so I am reading through all the stuff, and I have sort of read it. And there's other documents that you can read on the screen here, the terms of service and things like that, and cookie notice, so I'll just say I have read them. Okay, on your phone, download and open Wear OS by Google. Okay, so it's looking for our thing. We're going to hit Start Setup. Terms of service, make Wear OS better, send diagnostics, yes, okay, you can have those, connect to your watch. Okay, so it sees it there, we hit it, and we'll give it access, and we're connected. And continue setup on phone. Okay, we'll just drop the watch for a while, and we're bringing it into our Google account. So copy your Google account to your Ticwatch. Okay, hit copy, allow that, copying the account, and connect it to Wi-Fi. Okay, so there's a whole rake of questions about like giving it access to calendar and contacts and all that kind of stuff, location, turning on various things in your settings to allow you full access to the device. So here we have it's identified it as the Ticwatch Pro 3 Ultra GPS, and some watch faces that we can download to make it look nice, ninja and stuff like that, and then tips, tiles and things. So back to this. Remember this is the watch, which is completing setup, and we're all set. We can start using it. This will be the default theme. It looks rather nice. It's got the Ticwatch colors, and we can go through a Wear OS tour, which we'll do later, which is probably a bad idea, and we have system updates that we're going to do. Alright, so that's the hardware of it. I'm going to go and set this up, put it in my watch and have a play with it for a while, and I'll get back to you in a few days and let you know how I'm doing. So it's been a little over a week, and I've been wearing it every day, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I haven't been sleeping in it because that's, well, frankly uncomfortable. You know, you can do that if you absolutely need to, or you need to monitor your sleep. I haven't noticed any significant problems with this. To report things like battery life, we're sitting on 75% or so of battery, 74% just says there at the very corner. I didn't charge this last night. I reckon you get 3 days worth out of this battery, which is pretty good for Android Wear. The charge mechanism is one of my favorite that I've used in a long time. These two magnets just pick up the charger really quickly. You don't have to line it up with any sort of wireless charger or get it in the right spot. Initially I was a wee bit put off by the idea that this didn't have Qi charging or anything on it, but this is so much simpler. I just hover it over and it snaps on. It's a really strong magnet, and it lifts up a couple of inches off the desk, and then you can set it down and it'll be charged in a couple of hours. If you're going from 0 to 100%, it may take about 2 hours to charge fully, which could be off-putting to some. It's not a particularly fast charger, but I don't think it's a particularly slow charger for what it does. If you stick it on charge every other night, then you're grand. Also, given how lightweight the charger is, you can take it with you. There's a bunch of nice features that I've found are really useful. I've really enjoyed this, which allows you to record conversations and things. So if you're standing trying to do a return in a shop, you can hit this button quite discreetly and get the information you need. Say for example, someone's showing you how to do something, you can find out using this to record. The microphones in are very good. I've done a little test.
This is a test of the recording facility on the Ticwatch. I am talking it right in front of my face. Now if I extend my arm out and then turn my head around so I'm talking directly away from it, This is what it sounds like in the room. So now it's back in front of my face.
And it all sounds rather nice, and it seems to be compatible with a couple of different useful applications if you're not just happy with the one that's included. Other things that I use is obviously weather on the go is very useful to have, and well, it's quite early in the morning and I've been working all morning, so I haven't really done too much so far today. I walked from the bedroom to my office. And your heart monitor as well. Very useful to have, very simple interface. The screen is quite responsive, and all in, I'm sold on this. I will be using this as my daily smartwatch. I'm quite happy to carry on with it. I would say laying out the 200 odd pounds that this happens to be is a bit expensive, but you're getting a quality smartwatch that's going to last you for a good long time. I don't know whether or not this will be updated to the newest version of Android Wear when Google brings out their Pixel Watch later this year. Hopefully it will. I'd like to see it doing so because people want value for money. I haven't changed the strap as yet because I wanted to see whether or not I was going to continue wearing this before I buy a new strap for it, but it's relatively simple. You just pull out those pins and away you go. There's little considerations to make, like for example, this sticks into the band quite easily and keeps it on your wrist, and you don't have to worry about the band coming off. But this is the stock band. I don't know that most people will keep it on, but it is a darn good band to be included, and it'll give you something to go back to and swap out if you decide you're a bit tired of the one that you're changing to. Speaker's quite good, works quite well, announces things. Phone calls are very simple to get, very useful to have whenever your phone is maybe in your pocket and you just want to take a quick phone call. But obviously other people are going to hear you whenever you're on the phone and think things of you while you're doing that. And it's just a good size. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's a good size, especially for my wrist, which is a fairly large wrist. I wouldn't recommend this one for the daintier of wrists, but then it's entirely up to you. I wouldn't say this is an oversized smartwatch in any way. It just looks good on the wrist, and people wouldn't go, "Oh, look at that over bulky thing on his wrist." It looks fine. I'm really pleased at what Ticwatch have here. There isn't too much in the way of a battery, and it lasts a good long time with what they've managed to cram in. It's an excellent size for me. All right, well, let me know if you have any questions in the comments box down below. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification, and remember to tune in to the Tech Addicts podcast, where I'll be continuing to cover this over the coming weeks and months. You can find that over at garethmiles.com, plus other bits and pieces from me. All right, take care now.